The other day when I was responding in the comments to another video from another YouTube person with my thoughts on how to respond to an active shooter situation or a third party situation, that is where you are not the direct victim, the result of my response to that was I was called a coward, which kind of bothered me because nobody likes to be called that, right? And there are more than 5,000 of you who subscribe to my channel, so I'm going to share with you my philosophy and thinking that supports my armed lifestyle philosophy. And then I'm going to ask you the question, am I a coward? And obviously you're free to respond or not. There are two main components to my thinking, both of them as a result of training for several years. The first one, which I believe is the most important, is an understanding of the priorities of life. And the priorities of life are how you go about addressing a threat situation that you come in contact with. And the first one is the first priority. Priority number one is always you. In this case, always me. I am the first priority. My life is always the first priority, and I never give up my life for any of the subsequent priorities. And that's important because if I'm gone, I can do nothing about the next three. The second priority of life are your family, those that you like anyway, and your loved ones. Family and loved ones. So there's you, then the family and loved ones, then the innocent to the degree that you can identify who is innocent, and then believe it or not, the last life in the priority is the life of the bad guy. The idea is that you never trade off the life of anyone below for anyone above. And that's just hard and fast, because in some cases there are situations where someone will care about the life of the bad guy and take action to prevent the death of that person, and then risk or sacrifice the life of someone above them. And that should never happen. And we see it in movies sometimes, though. We see it in movies sometimes. So the priorities of life, the way you address defense against a threat, is your life always comes first. Your family and loved ones come second. The innocent, to the degree that you can identify them, comes third. And then the bad guy comes fourth. So what does that mean? Well, when you put it into practice, obviously, if you're walking around and a threat appears to you, just to you as a victim, that's from a bad guy. Your life, bad guy's life, real easy decision, isn't it? Right? Now you're walking up and your life, bad guy comes up, and you're with your wife, child, loved one, right? And the bad guy, right? Bad guy threatens your loved one. What do you do? Well, they're with you, you're armed, you take out the bad guy. Easy decision, right? So now let's take this to what I would call an active shooter scenario, where you're walking around, you're in a mall. Let's take the mall, because people use that. And something goes down. You are made aware that something is happening. So now I'm going to transition to a thing called the OODA loop, or the OODA loop. And that's comprised, and it's always in this order: observe, orient, decide, and act. So you hear something You haven't seen anything yet, so you can't observe it. You're trying to orient yourself because you heard something, right? And the orient component is the what the fuck thing. What's going on? What's happening? Right? I heard something, can't see it. People are running, don't know where, don't know from what. I'm trying to orient myself. Now I see that there are bad guys actively shooting. I now have to decide what to do, right? What are the rules? Well, I go back to the priorities of life. You first, your family and loved ones, innocent bad guys. What does that mean? What every infantry person on the planet, the first thing they do when they get in the shit and they hear they're taking rounds is they take cover. They take cover. They hit the deck, find cover, then figure out, well, what the fuck? Where's it coming from? How many? That kind of thing. So now they're in the orientation phase of the OODA loop. Once they've decided that they understand where the fire's coming from, how many, and whether or not they can engage that, then they do. That is just what happens in combat. And don't let anybody tell you that it's not the way it happens in combat, right? Because it is. Whether you're in the air or whether you're on the ground, same shit, different day. Okay? So you're in a mall, let's go back to the mall. People are taking rounds. You're gonna, me first, I'm gonna hit the deck and try to figure out how many, where it's coming from. I know what I'm armed with. I know how far away they are, right? So I'm trying to orient myself. And I'm with a family or loved one, right? I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to run the gunfire. I'm going to stay where I am, and I'm going to provide protection for the people that are with me, right? Priorities of life. Now, my family and loved ones aren't with me. I was in the mall by myself. What am I going to do? Me first. Hit the deck. Where is it coming from? How many? Can I engage? If I can engage, right? Right? But I'm behind cover. And I look around. There are innocents, or people that I believe to be innocent. Do I have a duty to protect them? No. If I can, I will say, I'm armed, I'm a good guy, stay where you are, or come behind me, and I will provide cover for you. Right? That's the extent of it. That's the extent of it. What if people are being shot out in the mall, out in the area, right? Now there's people out there and there's people with me. Am I going to leave where I am and go engage the bad guys, run the gunfire to protect those people or the folks that are closest to me? I'm going to deal with the folks closest to me. Why? Priorities of life. Priorities of life, right? Now that is come back to the OODA loop. I have now decided what I'm going to do, and the action I'm going to take is I'm going to stay where I am. I'm going to bring people who are innocent to me, right? And I'm going to provide cover, and I'm going to stay where I am. If bad guys come to me, then I will engage them. But I'm not going to reveal my position. I'm not going to do anything that would cause the bad guys to come to me and the innocent people that I'm providing cover for. Now, the alternative action would be, can I safely leave? Can I safely leave where I am and get outside, get away from the threat? Can I take people with me? That becomes an alternative decision. And so that's my thought process. Priorities of life in the OODA loop. But because I said that I would not drop what I'm doing, unholster my firearm, and run and engage the bad guys, I was called a coward. I obviously disagree with that, And I disagree with that because of the reasons that I just gave in the video. So I put the question to you 5,000 people. Am I a coward? So as always, thanks for watching. Carry on.